Hello and welcome back to the Fabienne Show. Today I have the privilege of bringing you a conversation with my friend, my client, this inspiring woman named Kate. She is a mountaineering coach. I didn't even know those existed before I met Kate. And when I first met her, she basically had a hobby, twin girls at home, trying to do what she loved and wasn't making good money at it, but was working really hard. And we started working together, and very, very quickly, Kate went to six figures within 1 year. And in scaling her business with me this year, she has been able to leverage her business model, going from one to one to many. She has delegated, built a team. She's making 20 to 30,000 a month, and she anticipates getting to 100,000 a month in 2025. And she has her life back, and she has become the breadwinner of her family with twin girls at home. And I share this because not only is it an inspiring story of a down to earth, fun woman, mom who's doing what she loves and getting well paid, but it is a story of transformation that I hope you will be able to take notes on for your own business if you have a business. And what I love about this story is it's not just the strategy. It's the mindset. It's the spiritual development. It's everything that I bring to the table when I work with the members of Boldheart business. And so I bring this to you saying, if you are in a place where you are feeling stuck in your business and you are at a plateau and you're confused and you're grasping at straws, even though you have a good business, and yet there is this soulful yearning to get to that next level of impact and to really help more people doing what you love. This is an invitation from me to reach out. Reach out to me on boldheart.com. And you'll see at the top right corner of the website, there is a button that says talk to a coach or free strategy session or something like that. I want to invite you to take me up on this. Meet with someone on my team, and together over the course of 45 minutes, you can have a soulful conversation with a strategist that's also somebody with a big heart, who is also a business owner, who will have you map out your next big vision for your business and what you want to be making, but also help you diagnose and figure out what's not going well, why you're not moving to that next level, and then create a plan for you for the next 12 to 24 months that you can start implementing to scale your business to multiple 6, 7 figures, even more, while not sacrificing your life. And if you want to explore what it's like to work with us in Boldheart Business, to join the program, you can ask questions about that. All of that to say, you don't have to do this alone. I'm here, and I invite you to get inspired by what Kate has to say. And if you like it, book a strategy call with us. It's free, and I really believe you'll get so much out of it. All right, enjoy this episode. Okay, dear friends, on this episode of the Fabienne Show, you are in for a treat because Kate is here with me, and Kate Sielmann and I feel like we were like mischievous sisters in a past life. We're always giggling together.
The question is, who would have been the bad influence?
Oh, I don't know. I'm you. I am so glad you're here to inspire, to share deeply and authentically, to laugh with me, and to stretch the belief in herself of the listener of the Fabienne Show who is here with us today. Kate, tell us a little bit about you. And then you're a listener of the Fabienne Show. Once you describe what you do, tell us what you like about the Fabienne Show.
I'm going to skip and go to question number 2 first. And
Okay.
For me, every time I've listened to the podcast, it's just come at the most perfect timing. that there's just something you've said or something one of the guests have said that has just, it's been a divine download in whatever form. And I mean, the last podcast, I was running and I actually had to stop because I was crying so much. Tears of complete gratitude for two women who were having a conversation and inspiring so many people and changing so many lives just through a conversation.
You sent me that little note on Instagram as you were like listening to it. Just like, I'm standing here, I'm crying, I'm supposed to be running.
Yeah, I was running and just stop. So a little bit about me. Hi, my name's Kate. I help people get fitter and faster for high altitude mountaineering. I really got serious about it about 2 years ago. I have to say that came with starting working my time with Fabienne, with you, starting in the growth track. I didn't believe that I could really do it. If I'm being completely honest.
Can we talk about that? As some of you who are listening today know that I did an episode on the imposter syndrome a while back. This belief that when something good happens, we don't think it's for us. We're like, wait, what? That's a fluke. Tell me about this feeling that you didn't believe that you could actually make it happen.
I've always worked for myself and always had a small, relatively speaking, at the time, it's been a small company. Just me doing my own thing and never allowing myself to imagine what it would look like in 5 years or 10 years. I've always started something and I get to a point where I think, oh, retreat or self-sabotage. Starting with Boldheart was just being put in this amazing group of women who are so powerful and so feminine. The mountaineering world is very male dominated. That tends to come with a lot of male energy, and the way you work, the way you deal with clients, everything about it is
We all know exactly what you mean when you go, oh. And we love the guys. We just don't want to be a guy in our business, right?
No. There's moments where having that energy and that approach is a good thing. But being in the Boldheart program and realizing that I don't have to be that way, because for me, that approach is not sustainable. It's not sustainable because it really wasn't who I am as a coach and how I work with my clients. And shifting forward, I had a fantastic first year with Boldheart and took my business to 6 figures, which I didn't even think was so possible, that I'm now at the point where I am scrambling to sort out my tax. Because I just didn't think that I was going to get to this point where I'm doing so well that I'm not going, oh my goodness, it's amazing. But
you've taken your results even further. Every time you show up on one of our weekly huddles, you're like, I have something else to celebrate. We're like, yeah, Kate. You reached 6 figures rather quickly.
Yeah. My husband went from calling my work a hobby to now we are financially planning that I am going to be the main source of our income, which is just so joyful.
Before we hit record, everybody, we were giggling saying, okay, how soon are we going to cry? Who's going to be the first one? It was me. You as the main breadwinner of your family, Kate. Holy cow. How long have you been with Boldheart? It's been what?
This is only my second year. First year was in the growth track, where I'm just going to explain it.
Yeah.
The main focus is building up and growing your marketing, growing the programs, that really growing in your company and what you're doing. And moving into the leverage track is about scaling everything, leveraging everything. It's something that I never learned before, never understood, that you say it often, you cannot scale a person. Having a full practice mindset, that was a huge switch for me, thinking that, and that's coming back to allowing myself to think long term, like, okay, where do I want to be in 5 years' time? I don't want to be answering the emails and doing the day-to-day tasks. I want to be dreaming about how I can massively change women's lives, women who love climbing mountains.
Yeah. I think something that you and I have talked about recently is actually changing the industry of mountaineering for women. So it's not this uber masculine place where she doesn't necessarily feel like she can fit in. And there's only one person who can do this, and it's you, Kate.
Yeah.
So not only are you changing, if I may, your business, your family, your clients' lives, but you're also changing an entire industry in less than a year.
I am. I just actually had a consultation call with a potential client just before this, and I don't like saying competition because
Sure.
my colleagues, because they serve different people. She said to me, "What's your biggest difference between them and you?" And I said, "I believe women should climb mountains in strength and grace. And I believe it's the way in which we get there that counts. That when you envision yourself at the top of a mountain, you are standing with your dignity intact." I said, and I tell my clients that I love them.
Me too.
I coach from my heart, and I go based on instinct, on what I think you need, not necessarily what is the right thing to say, and that approach. Being in the Boldheart program has allowed that part of me to come out, that the feminine part, the part that I truly believe in. It's actually something that you said on the Provence retreat. I don't know if you remember, you reached over in the car and you held my hand and you said, once you get to the point where you can speak emotionally and allow that part to come out, you will reach $1 million in your business. I launched my website, my new rebranded website, about a month and a half ago. It is beautiful. It's so feminine, and it's strong, and it's powerful, and in alignment with really who I am and where I'm wanting to take all of this. I have had, without much effort, one of the best months because it's saying, really being honest with who I am and letting go of that. We are supposed to be this way, and I'm supposed to present myself in this way to make sure that people think I'm a serious coach. I found the more I've allowed myself just to really be who I am, the more people, more women have come to me and said, "You're exactly who
You're
I
the
want
one
to be."
for me. Yeah. I think that a lot of us women in business don't succeed as much as we can because we're trying to fit into masculine rules of how business should be done and how marketing should be done.
Yeah.
We're supposed to follow this line, fall into this formula. And the feminine is not linear. The feminine is circular. The feminine is passionate. The feminine is authentic and creative. For you,
Waves.
yeah, exactly. For you to fully embrace this bold heartism, which is be the most you that you can be, and wave that authenticity and vulnerability flag, and you will see that everything will change. It's one of the many things that is an anchor here at Boldheart, and you did that immediately. You've created some really inspiring new results recently in the leverage track. Would you be willing to share what's happened recently?
I would love to. So, financially, the first year was 6 figures. My goal was for this year to be doing 20 to 30 grand each month. When I say figures, it's really a reflection of the impact that I'm having. I don't look at it as make more money, put it
Yeah,
in my
for
online
accumulation
store.
purposes, no, that's not who you are.
It's a reflection of the impact that you have on the world. So it's also like, oh, whoop-de-doo, it's 20 or 30 grand a month. But it's the impact, it's the number of people that I'm able to help because I'm scaling my business, because I'm planning it with that long-term vision in mind. So yeah, I've launched my scalable program
Woo! Round of applause.
a couple of months ago. And after one webinar, it generated 20 grand. It actually did so well that there were a few kinks in my processes. I've pulled it back so that I can fix some of the areas. There were too many touch points happening, which meant that realistically speaking, I couldn't take on more people in one go, which is brilliant. It's something else with Boldheart that I love is this celebration of if you make a mistake, great, try again. That means we cross out, we are one step closer to improving, to reaching perfection in whatever program it is. The celebration of trying and being okay with if you make a mistake, okay, great. We can cross that off. It didn't work. Or this should be improved. Let's keep going.
Always improving. Anything that doesn't work is just a divine redirection.
Exactly.
So I grew up in the 70s, right? So I'm a little bit older than you are, but we used to play pinball machine a lot in Paris when I was growing up. It was like, keep the ball, just make sure the ball is in the center. If it goes a little off to the side, just move it back over. It's kind of what we do here. It's not failure. It's like, okay, noted. That didn't work, so I will do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Kate, you're like 20,000 or 30,000 months are no longer strangers to you.
No.
Did you ever think?
No. I did think maybe there'll be 1 month like that. It'll be a really good fluke month. Now it's every month. And I found there's less and less effort. It's less of that, oh, I must reach my goals.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
There it is again. Oh, another $30,000 month. And then one day 40 and 50,000 will be your new normal. And then, believe it or not, 80 or 100,000 a month will be your new normal. That new normal for me being at least 100,000 a month was 16 years ago, and then some. And there will be a point at which 200,000, 300,000 a month will be normal. You won't remember what it's like to make 30,000 a month. This is the container in which we normalize women at 1 million. You're not yet at 1 million, but you're here, you're showing up, you're following the recipe, and you're on track. What do you see for next year? What do you think is realistic for next year for you?
Realistically, I see myself hitting 100 grand a month.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe not every single month, but at least a couple of times throughout the year. Yeah, and really being in an environment where women are celebrated, even if you're not at that point yet. Something I love about Boldheart is you're on the same Zoom call with women making tens of millions of dollars. It's just inspiring because everyone is so open and vulnerable that you see someone, a lady who's making $10 million a year, has some of her own worries. Moments where she thinks, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do it. You realize that it's not really about the money.
Never about the money.
It's not about the
Never about the money. Yes, you will go and buy that handbag. You will buy that new car. You will upgrade your house one way or another. Maybe some jewelry thrown in. But really, after you experiment with this for a while, it's really never about the money. It's about how many lives you can impact, how much freedom you can have, and really about creating your own version of a delicious life. Kate, you have 2 daughters. How old are they, your twins?
5.
5. What does it mean to you to be a mother who is entrepreneurial, who is you're in the top 5% of entrepreneurs in the whole world, Kate?
That's crazy.
In the whole world, top 5%. You're kind, you're loving, and you have a beautiful marriage. I think a lot of us have been told that the only way for us to be successful as women is to be a jerk
And to
and sacrifice. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's such a joy because I look at the girls and I just want to show them that they can be anything, they can do anything. They can pave their own way and have it all, really have it all, whatever that looks like for them.
Right.
I was going to say it was a Boldheart webinar. I think there's been so many moments that have just been so powerful between us and in the Boldheart program. I don't even like calling it a webinar because it's so powerful. It was the one about time and your self-worth. How you treat your time is a direct correlation to your self-worth. Giving away your time now is, I adore my clients, I adore the people I work with, but something that was really powerful that changed, it was a huge trigger for me, a good positive trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that my clients they won't always be here with me. That's completely fine. That's the way it should be. But I was giving of my time as if they were always going to be there, giving of myself emotionally, physically, and in some ways sacrificing time with my family, time with the girls, the mental space that I had for the girls and the emotional space I had for them. Suddenly that webinar it was like just this thing happened where I understood this does not matter. At the end of the day, the time that I have with my girls and my husband, that is really what matters. I was able to separate my work and the emotional energy and the mental energy and everything that goes into it, be able to step away and have time with my family without feeling guilty.
Right. Yeah, I remember the exact conversation. It was the leverage your time quarterly activator. I forget if it was somebody else who started the conversation or perhaps it was you. I'll explain what Kate is mentioning. We as women are reared, bred, socialized to over sacrifice, to put the needs of others before our own. We do this in our families and our society, but as women entrepreneurs, we are taught, or we have this belief that if we don't over service our clients and overhold their hand, we aren't as valuable, that we are valuable when we overgive of ourselves. What happens is when you're just starting out in business, you give a lot and you're like, yay, I'm so grateful to have this client. But when you are at full practice capacity, as we were saying earlier, you find yourself working on evenings and weekends and not being able to catch up with the demand of over service. So we go so way above scope for our clients that we put their needs and their happiness and their livelihood before our own. We're depleted. We get angry and resentful, but then we don't want to show that because we're supposed to be grateful for the client. So that was a shift for everybody where we just said, listen, those clients won't even remember your name in 10 years, yet you don't want to set up your life so that you're overgiving. Hello, beautiful. I thought this would be a great place to jump in with a quick pause to remind you that the Boldheart Woman program, the one where you reclaim your life and get your needs met and become happy and blissful again, the Boldheart Woman program starts next week. If you are someone who is overgiving, taking care of the needs of others before your own, if you're going through the motions of your life, your business, your relationships, wondering, is this all there is to life? If you've become resentful and perhaps you are using food or other ways to numb. Yes, I am bringing it up because that was me too. It doesn't have to be this way. You can reclaim your joy, reclaim your life, speak up, take up more space in all areas of your life, both professionally and personally. And I can help you do that. I've created an accessible program. If you've never worked with me before, this is perhaps a great place for you to start. And this is about us getting you a plan to reclaim everything about your life in a way that feels delicious. And so we start next week. If there is a stirring within you, if you are feeling some divine discontent in your life, please join me. Go to boldheartwoman.com. All right, let's continue with this episode. Right?
Yeah.
That is how when you begin to leverage your business model and remove access that they don't actually need. They like to have access to it, but they don't actually need it to get results. That was a big shift for you. I would love for the woman who's listening, who is super inspired by you in this moment, Kate, what you've been able to create 20, 30,000 in revenues a month as like your new normal. And then next year, 100,000 months as your new normal. What are the things that you've shifted? Your business model has shifted from just being you to creating a program that's scalable. What other things did you change in your business that helped you get to 20 or 30K months?
Here's a big one. I think it was one of the very first Q&A calls that I joined. I was having some internal issues about automating certain parts of my coaching programs. I had this in a belief that automating it and me not speaking with every single client on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever it was somehow undervaluing the program, and no one would appreciate that format. It wouldn't do well. I got on the Q&A call. I was so nervous. You were amazing, as you always are. I said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I know to start scaling. This was my first program. To start scaling it, I need to automate it, but I don't feel like it's the right thing to do because of, insert my beliefs about it. Because there was a few of us on the call. You said, could someone make notes for Kate? Of course, 4 or 5 women started typing, making notes. He said to me, give me, I can't remember if it was 5 or 10 reasons why certain aspects of the program that would have been automated would have been helpful. Things like automating emails or specific messages instead of typing them out every single time or doing videos. It was just this open space to play with the idea that, maybe automating it and adding this actually gives the program more value. It gives me more time to think of new training systems and new things for my clients. That was a huge shift for me because it was this realization that actually, if I automated this and this and this and this, my client's actually going to get even more value.
Exactly.
I'm going to have more time.
You're going to be able to innovate more things for them, create more value without it being you doing everything. Especially as mothers, we feel like we're responsible for everything. I was actually thinking about this in the middle of the night. I was thinking about how men walk out of the house with their wallet in one pocket and a phone in the other. We have a handbag. And in the handbag is, of course, the same money in the phone, but sometimes we have tissues and we have things and apples and granola bars. We are reared to be prepared to take care of everybody. I remember the one time, I'll say this here because I think it's funny. One time when my firstborn, Claire, was like 3 months old, my husband, Derek, took her out for the morning. He left without a bottle, without diapers, and without wipes. And he's like, she's crying. I'm like, did you change your diaper? Oh, I didn't bring a diaper. Anyway, I don't know if I should keep this in this episode, but I'll bring it back to what we're talking about. We are super hyper aware of everybody's needs and anticipating them. But when it comes to business and having a business that you want to scale to 7 figures, there gets to be a point at which you cannot put the needs of everybody else at the detriment of your life, your sleep, your ability to be with your family, your happiness. So a lot of what we talk about in the leverage business track is about really reevaluating this self-sacrifice, this self-abandonment, this putting everybody before yourself. Yes, if you set up the right systems, the right processes, the right team, part-time, virtual, affordable team members, you can begin to remove yourself from the day-to-day operations of your business in an increased way that allows you to have more freedom, but also focus on exponential growth activities rather than wiping the nose and holding the hand and feeding the every whim of a client. That might sound like it's not very loving, but it actually is, because you are setting up a structure of support with your team, with your processes, with your programs, with your systems, so that the client is well taken care of without you being the one to generate everything. That is how a lot of our members, virtually all of our members in Boldheart, scale so quickly like you have done, Kate.
Yeah, that one question, that one call, if I had been on my own, I would have talked myself out of it, and I would have given myself 1,000 reasons why automating certain aspects of that program wouldn't have worked and why people wouldn't pay more money for it.
Yeah. And it's now the opposite, is that your program has all of the elements for your clients to get bigger and better results without you being the one to generate absolutely everything.
Yeah.
That's when you can create an even more delicious life.
Yeah. I have to say, back then, the program, I would do 15-minute calls with every single client every 2 weeks, which took up an enormous amount of time because also If the call ran over 15 minutes, I would allow it to happen.
Of course.
Because I didn't want to be disliked or things that come with that. It was a few months later, and I followed the Boldheart system. Every Tuesday there's a Q&A call. And I thought, well, I'll just put it out there and just see how my clients kind of react to it. Those Q&A calls have become one of my clients' favorite part of the program. The sense of community, women who are going through the same experience, whether I have a client who's aiming to climb Everest or doing a multi-day trek in Scotland, which is vastly different.
Yeah.
They all have the same sense of purpose in what they're doing, the same belief issues. Putting them together instead of segregating these individual calls has made such a difference for them. Back then, 2 years ago, I had convinced myself that doing group calls was sacrilege. No one would want that. Of course, they only want time with me.
Yeah.
That's
That is
another
proven
thing.
wrong.
Being in the Boldheart program and seeing that, oh, maybe this will work for me as well. Let me just try.
Yeah. What would you like to say to the people, like within Boldheart? We know it's no secret that the community is bar none, like one of the best communities in the world. I don't know how. I have a unique ability to, I don't know where it comes from, Kate, but everybody who knows me says, you have the unique ability to bring the greatest people together. What's it like inside the Boldheart community? What are the women like? Tell someone who's here listening who says, oh, everybody says they have a great community.
It's this wide array of women. You've got quiet women, and then you've got the really loud ones who are scary, and we're all celebrated. There's no judgment. It's just this room celebrating one another, whether you are a mountaineering coach or something with another business.
Yeah, all the different businesses and clinicians and consultants and architects and interior designers and doctors.
We all connect because we have the same purpose, regardless where we are financially, regardless what age we are, regardless where we are in the world. We all want to have a bigger impact in the world through our purpose. Being in that space is so sacred.
Yeah.
Fabienne, I have to tell you. So I'm doing my master's in performance psychology, and I started about 6 weeks ago, and it is so exciting. One of the courses is on leadership. And one of the assignments we had to do was about who for you has been a really good example of a leader and why. And you were my person.
Oh, thank you.
And it's because you have this innate ability to create a sacred space where women feel that we can talk openly about anything and everything. You also have the ability to guide someone to what they need to do without ever telling us. I don't think you have ever said to me, Kate, this is what you need to do. A, B, C, D. You've always coached us and guided us in a way that allows us to develop the answers, for us to follow our intuition and the gut instinct of what feels right. You have had such a profound impact on my life and my daughter's lives. You're my leader in so many ways.
We were right. We did. Thank you. That means the world to me.
Yeah.
I think in other business circles, the answers are pushed down your throat. And if you don't do them, you are ridiculed. I believe that I create sacred community and conversations that become a catalyst to change. And the change comes from within. It's more powerful than anybody pushing down the answers down your throat. That being said, of course, we have the strategies and all of that, but it really is about inner empowerment. I want to touch in just the couple of minutes that we have left. You joined the program, and then very shortly thereafter, you came to Provence to the Delicious Life Retreat for a week with me. Do you want to spend a couple minutes? The next one is coming up in June of 2025. It's going to be better than ever. What was the reason you came to Provence to be with me and a few other women for a week? What was it like? What did you get out of it?
My reason for coming, I just knew I had to be there. I had seen one of the email invites come through, and I said to Christopher, my husband, Well, I didn't at the time. I thought that's not for me. I shouldn't do it. I can't do it. Need to stay home, look after the kids. And then I remember it was a few weeks later, we were taking the girls out to ride their bikes, and Christopher and I were standing talking, and I was looking over, and he said, "You seem really quiet." I said, "Well, Fabienne's doing this retreat, and I just feel like I'm supposed to be there." And he said, "Okay, well, what's it about?" And I said, "I don't know." Because I didn't read much about the email.
You didn't read the thing.
And I just said, "I just have a feeling that I need to be there." And he said, "Okay, well, do you want to go and book it?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Yeah, I got the girls, you go." And I was like, "Okay."
Running.
And booked it. And it was really a week of diving deep into how I want my life to be, and in turn, how I want my family's lives to be. And I feel like coming into the retreat, I was a hot mess. Coming out was just amazing. This permission that I can have it all. I absolutely can build the life of my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I can be everything. I can be an amazing, present, loving, badass coach, and I can be the same as a mother and as a wife, and take the time and space I need for myself. It was just an amazing experience. I mean, it was super helpful that we had delicious food, and we cooked together, and we had rosé together, and we cried together, and
we went to visit beautiful villages together, and I'll never
tasted
forget you.
My olive oil is finished, by the way. I wish I bought more.
You need to come back.
I remember spoke to Ginny. I hope I'm allowed to say Ginny's name, Dr. Ginny. If you're listening, I would still like to see you on the June retreat.
Honestly, quite a few people are having their eye on the June thing. I think it's going to fill up. So you heard it here first. For the woman who is here listening to this episode and every episode, who dreams of creating a big impact using her business and scaling and getting her life back and feeling like she has it all, the delicious life, the time to be with the people she loves, paying herself well, what advice would you give to her as we wrap up this episode?
I think it was something that you had said about your own journey through this and kind of working out what a delicious life looked like for you. You had said, what is the point of having so much money if I can't even sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee? And I think if you are in that position where you are not able to sit down and enjoy a simple cup of coffee without thinking about the things you're supposed to do and the this and the that, and then that's not everything.
Yeah.
I have to say now I take breaks to go and play piano. And when I sit down and play piano, I don't think about anything else. I just enjoy being there. Or I have time where I just sit and have a cup of coffee. I look outside the window and I think about, why do some leaves here in North Germany, it's coming up to winter, and some trees lose their leaves faster than others. But to have 5 minutes, 10 minutes just to sit and think and look outside the window and ponder.
Yeah.
Bliss.
Yeah, bliss. Thank you for a delicious conversation, Kate. What I really appreciate is that we get to experience you here now, and in a year, I'd love to have you back to catch us up on how it went based on scaling to 7.
Oh, that's giving me goosies.
Yeah. Thank you. Super inspiring today. I love you. I'm so proud for you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you here next time. Bye, everybody.